So you
Land Use Commission meeting to order. First order of business is roll call. Commissioner Albright,
Present.
Commissioner Beckler,
Here.
Commissioner Wiedemann,
Here.
Commissioner Crane.
Here.
All members are present. Item number 2, Airport Land Use Commission Administration. We have the election of the chair and vice chair. I'll entertain a motion for chair and vice chair.
I nominate Eric Crane as chair and Tony Beckman as vice chair.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Hold on. I'll make a second. I second the motion.
Commissioner Albright,
Yes.
Commissioner Beckler,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiedemann,
Yes.
Chair Crane to be Chair Crane.
Aye.
All right, I pass the gavel to you officially.
Matters from the public. Members of the public are welcome to address the Airport Land Use Commission on items not listed on the agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the Airport Land Use Commission. The Airport Land Use Commission is prohibited by law from taking action on matters not on the agenda. Individuals wishing to address the commission under matters from the public are welcome to do so in person, via email, or Zoom. For information on each of these methods, call the Planning Commission 707-234-6650 or visit the county's website. All correspondence will be attached to the item and made available online at the county. Do you have anybody in the ether?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Item 4, City of Ukiah Community Development Department.
If I may briefly through the chair, all items have been properly noticed. I skipped over that when I passed you the gavel.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jesse? You.
If I may, Chair Crane, I think we'll start with county staff presentation, and we have Planner Shelby Miller here, and then we can look to the applicants from the City of Ukiah.
Thank you. Shelby Miller, Planner 3 at Planning and Building Services. The request in front of you is case number ALUC_2026-0001. This request is for a Ukiah Municipal Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan, consistency determination for the City of Ukiah to rezone and amend various land use designations to address misalignment of the downtown zoning code, form-based codes on larger lots to be consistent with uses that are planned, under construction, or existing, and to refine the downtown zoning code boundaries to focus further on form-based code application on the downtown core. The project goal is to implement the City of Ukiah's 2040 general plan by resolving inconsistencies between the form-based standards of the downtown code and existing development patterns along Perkins Street and within the downtown area, while also ensuring the accurate classification of public and recreational lands. The proposed modifications include rezoning and amending parcels along the Perkins Street corridor that are zoned urban center and general urban to community commercial, which is also C1. It includes rezoning and amending portions of the urban center district to public facilities to be consistent with civic uses that are planned or under construction, including the proposed Mendocino County Superior Courthouse and associated parking. The proposed modifications also include rezoning and amending portions of the urban center district, as well as one heavy commercial parcel to recreation/public facilities to be consistent with the planned recreational use of the Great Redwood Trail and existing Ukiah Rail Depot structure. 2 other parcels would be rezoned and amended from urban center to heavy commercial to reflect the existing mix of warehouse and commercial uses on those parcels. The request also includes refining the downtown zoning code boundary along Oak Street and Seminary Avenue corridors to better reflect existing development patterns and cross-street boundaries. And that being said, all development would still be required to be consistent with and follow the procedures within the Ukiah Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan. The proposed modifications would not affect noise standards in a manner that would trigger the need for additional noise studies or mitigation measures. The proposed community commercial and heavy commercial zoning districts would increase the maximum building height to 50 feet. And of course, future development would need to be evaluated by the city for consistency. The majority of parcels affected by the project would not result in an increase in maximum allowable densities, as they are being redesignated from a downtown core land use designation to a community commercial designation. Alternatively, amending parcels to a recreational or public facilities designation would restrict residential land use. Within Zone 4, 3 of the parcels would be amended to the general urban designation, which allows higher residential density. Each of those parcels are developed with commercial and mixed-use structures and are not projected to be redeveloped at intensities exceeding applicable thresholds outlined in the Ukiah Land Use Compatibility Plan. The City of Ukiah Downtown Zoning Code includes provisions requiring future development to comply with these standards set forth in the Ukiah Municipal Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan. Because the city's general plan has been determined to be consistent with the Ukiah Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan, the proposed ordinance amendments would likewise be consistent, subject to any conditions or modifications required by the Airport Land Use Commission. And also to talk about the consistency review pursuant to policy 1.4.1B of the Ukiah Land Use Compatibility Plan. Mandatory review by the Airport Land Use Commission is required for zoning ordinances if they both affect property within the airport influence area and may involve the type of airport impact concerns listed in policy 1.3.1B. The 4 compatibility concerns described in policy 1.3.1B are noise, safety, airspace protection, and overflight. And as described in the staff report and associated attachments, staff reviewed the compatibility factors and no impacts have been identified with the proposed ordinance amendments. Staff recommends approval of the proposed project and prepared a resolution for your consideration, which would find the project consistent with the Ukiah Municipal Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan. And that concludes my presentation, and we have representatives from the City of Ukiah in the audience. Thank you.
Question?
Any presentation from city staff?
Good afternoon, Jesse Davis, Chief Planning Manager, City of Ukiah. No presentation for you today. I believe staff's memo has clarified the city's intent with this land use amendment and rezoning proposal. It's primarily aimed at addressing inconsistencies between the built environment, particularly along Perkins Street, and the city's downtown zoning code, which was applied in 2012. Since 2012, only a limited number of structures have resulted through being processed through the downtown zoning code, and effectively staff have identified the Perkins Street corridor as an inappropriate fit for that particular approach in terms of a form-based zoning code. One of the next steps after rezoning would be to address the actual code itself. Staff would have liked to do that all in one process, one application, but given our staffing and the importance of appropriately designating these lands, this was the preferred approach in which we address the Perkins Street inconsistencies and also expand the downtown zoning code where the street scape as well as the built environment is conducive to such a zoning code, particularly a form-based one. Again, staff's presentation, I think, addresses the considerations for the Airport Land Use Commission, but as questions arise, I'm happy to address them.
Questions?
Yeah, I noticed that on the plan, you were using the 2008 airport.
You're talking about the Meaden Hut.
Yeah, Meaden Hut.
That was provided primarily for reference to indicate that this is an area that's been previously analyzed for application of the downtown zoning code in 2008, ultimately resulting in adoption in 2012. That was a review that wasn't conducted under a separate compatibility plan, but still effectively demonstrates that at that time, the move to the downtown zoning code was considered appropriate and would not have impacts on the airport. Since that time, again, there's been no resulting development that the city itself has processed, and the code itself has fallen out of effectiveness in terms of just being appropriate for the types of requests that we're seeing as well as the parcels that exist. That said, it was provided as a reference point to the analysis that was previously done for the downtown zoning code.
And when was this plan approved by council?
This plan?
This map, the revision that you're asking, I was wondering when this came before council.
So this particular request has not yet been approved by council. It's been directed by the Airport Land Use Commission. The rezone and land use amendment process is one in which we start with the Airport Land Use Commission because of the amendments themselves. Then we go to Design Review Board as well as Planning Commission before ultimately presenting an ordinance for the City Council to determine and review and approve.
Seems like the cart before the horse, but okay.
I'll defer to County Council with any additional considerations as to the process.
Well, and if I may, I think similar, I'll say for the county, if we were bringing forward any level of ordinance amendments, often they would come before the Airport Land Use Commission first for a consistency review and determination before final action is taken by, in our case, the Board of Supervisors. And primarily it's because you need to have that consistency analysis and verification that the regulations you're bringing forward are consistent with the Airport Land Use Commission's, the airport plan.
Is there a C1 in the current downtown zoning? I see on the map.
There is, in fact. Fortunately, we were able to hire a GIS analyst who conducted additional research into the map production for the zoning code itself, and it was identified that that parcel was not included as part of the downtown zoning code, even though it's within its boundaries.
What is it? I was trying to suss out its location.
It's a small commercial parcel that's fully developed with storefront. It was simply an oversight at the time that the city processed the downtown zoning code with the assessor. There was one additional change within the downtown zoning code map when it was adopted, and that was primarily the former lands of the NCRA, which were retained as heavy commercial as they specified that they did not want to be placed within the downtown zoning code for that parcel at that time. Obviously, that has been a change that's now currently proposed to be recreation in coordination with the Great Redwood Trail Agency.
And then there's a C2 zone that's called out. Yeah, in the proposed.
Yeah, and
that's C2. That's the insurance office, like a little strip mall.
that's the Ukiah Railroad Depot Commercial Center. The C2 is to reflect the Santa Rosa Tile Warehouse and other heavy commercial activities, lease activities that can go on there. Zoning is both a projection as to the intended land use, but it also reflects what's there today. And this is what the zoning code amendment really tries to capture, which is that parcels are not appropriate for the downtown code, but for a zoning code that's applied elsewhere in the city, particularly C1, and in this parcel's case, C2.
Okay, hi. Good to see you. I wanted to know what the height of both the C1 and C2 allows, that zoning does.
As opposed to
As
current,
just at-
or just?
What does it allow in the?
The C1 has a maximum height of 50 feet, and I believe also that's the case too for the C2 district as well.
Thank you.
And what is the current height?
The staff memo on page 3 reflects some of those considerations for the downtown zoning code. Downtown zoning code is not necessarily height in feet, but in stories, and those considerations are described within. Typically, it's around 42 feet of maximum height for the urban center itself. That doesn't include considerations that are design-oriented, including roof peaks and other features that might project above. Those are not considered in the height limitations for the downtown zoning code.
Or questions for staff? Commission?
I'm just curious about a couple things.
If I could just have you speak into the microphone for folks that may be online. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Mead and Hunt review, and I think the current one is 2000.
In 2021, the
Yeah.
county, in partnership with the city, came forward, and this Airport Land Use Commission adopted that updated Ukiah Municipal
Okay.
Airport Land Use Compatibility Plan.
It was based on an entire different framework and totally different.
I would have to look at the dates.
Was the code that was in place dates back to 6, Mead and Hunt letters 08, and then we changed the basis of the comprehensive land use plan worked on it from 19, adopted in 21. So I was a little confused by the inclusion of documents that referenced outdated documents that were no longer current, without calling that out as clear that those were different bases. I mean, after spending $300 and something thousand to rewrite the rule book, that confused me. Oh, do we have a motion? Something? Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot that step. Any member from any comments or questions from the public?
Seeing none online?
Hearing none. Back to the commission.
I don't have a problem with the current presentation, so I can make a motion. I move that the resolution of Mendocino County Airport Land Use Commission, County of Mendocino, State of California, finding that the ordinance amendments proposed by the City of Ukiah Community Development Department are consistent with the Ukiah Municipal Airport Land Use Compatibility Map. The Airport Land Use Compatibility Map. Therefore, I propose adopting this resolution with the points that are listed here, and there are 5 points, and may they be included in the resolution. Well, there's 5 that the foregoing are true.
So those are included. Deputy County Council Matthew Gadrowski, those are the numbered paragraphs within the resolution.
Yeah.
So I think just if the
So I'll just adopt the
motion,
resolution.
yeah, the motion is just to
Great.
adopt the proposed resolution.
That's fine.
Are we adopting them or finding them?
The resolution will be adopted by the Airport Land Use Commission.
Right. So I move to adopt this resolution, ALUC 2026-0001-City of Ukiah.
We hear a second.
Second.
Commissioner Beckler? Commissioner Albright?
Aye.
Commissioner Wiedemann?
Aye.
Chair Crane? Chair Crane?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Matters from staff.
Thank you. We have no matters from staff today.
Matters from the commission.
The only thing I would want to say is that we're looking for another commissioner from the Planning Commission. And we may have one who was appointed, who's basically appointed by Moheran district. But we would need to look at moving this meeting when we have it to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Would that be a problem for anybody here? It may be a problem for, on another side, but for us, does anybody have that problem?
Not a major.
Okay.
So if I may, I think that would be something that would be brought back at a subsequent meeting because it would be a bylaw change.
Right.
So that would need to be agendized for action.
Okay.
But it's good to know that got a surgery.
No. I'd like to move it up earlier because I get here at 9:30. I'm here at 9:30, so it's a long day. It's okay.
On the topic of commissioners, we're still not able to appoint a second commissioner. That's been 5 years, 6 years?
Deputy County Council Matthew Gadrowski, it's just a matter of, we've lost 2 deputies in our office in the last year and have an interim county council right now. So as things fluctuate, I think Willett's probably in a similar spot in terms of how much they can focus on things. We'll see if we can reach out this year to get that resolved.
And if I may, just there is one other vacancy, which is the city select position. And I did see that the meeting that was scheduled for February 2026 got canceled. But it looks like it's been on the last 2 agendas of the city select committee, but no, doesn't appear that anybody has been
No application.
identified, yes. Yeah, I don't know of any applications.
I was going to start working on. Any other commissioner comments? No? We're on item 7, approval of the minutes, December 9th, 2024. Here, a motion to approve or corrections?
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Here, a second. Second? Roll call.
Commissioner Albright?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiedemann?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckler?
Yes.
Chair Crane?
Aye. Here, a motion to adjourn? if that be appropriate.
I still move.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.